Greetings, drivers. It's going to be a little trucking talk. And hey, man, I've heard it over the years, all these drivers talking about how they hate this industry and they don't want their kids doing it, which is really stupid. If you already know how to do this and you're actually making money as an owner-operator, why not? You should teach your kids, just so they have a backup plan. I'm going to tell you why you should get a CDL, even if you don't want to do it as a career, just as a backup plan. So anyhow, this is OTR Ogre and Corgi, and hey, if you like what I'm doing, like, link, and subscribe. Comment if you so choose. Share it if you want. Let's get into this. Look, since I was a kid, I've heard people tell me about reasons you shouldn't be a trucker. You know, they're dirty, they don't get paid much, and I don't lie, there's some dirty truckers out there, but that's just a matter, do you choose to hang out with those people when you're out here? No, I don't. Some are good conversations, though. But the reality of it is that if I'm capable as a company driver to save 50 to 55K profit, like, I'm saving money like a god. People say, well, you don't have a wife and kids. Yeah, I don't. But the point of it is you're a young man, you're 21 years old, you can go OTR, and you can make some real money really fast. You might realize where you grew up at was kind of crap when you really put it in perspective, like hard to find a job. And if you're 18, you might be able to get a local job. You know, driving milk trucks, log trucks, dump trucks, something. You might be able to get that local job and work that for 3 years and then go out and make some real money. I'm not saying you don't make money in logging, by the way. Sometimes it's really good. But the thing of it is that having a CDL is kind of like a good backup plan. And some guys will tell you, oh, they're going to automate trucking any day now. Well, they've been saying that since I was a kid back in the 90s. I got done with high school about 1999. And 20 years later, I'm still hearing the same lines. And, you know, the biggest problem I'm going to tell you is probably who's going to be responsible if one of these vehicles gets in an accident. Is it the company that made the technology? Is it the truck's owner? Is it going to be who's responsible for this? So until they get that part figured out, I'm not going to buy into this, the trucking's gone. But moreover, you know all this recession crap that happened back in the day? Well, I was recession-proof. When I was a garbage man back in the day, recession-proof. When I got into trucking, pretty much the same thing. I was making money because I was doing what people need. Reefer units equal food. Food equals people surviving. Even if you don't like what people do, if you need that, you don't have a choice. You got to deal with those people. And that's one more reason. It's not just trucking. Get trucking, a CDL, as a backup plan, but become a plumber, an electrician. Become something the world needs. People talk about do what you love. No, you make the money so you can do what you love on your spare time. And if you're bringing home, like, you know, 100 plus K a year in any one of these trades, you know, because, like, if you're owner-operator out here, you can make some serious money, you know. But if you're making that serious money and doing really well, you know, you can retire younger. You become a minimalist and do whatnot. I'd say the biggest thing that screws up a lot of these drivers out here is literally their home, this home situation. They got pre-made problems. They got overpriced home, overpriced cars, lifestyle, boat, wife, kids. You know, like if you factor out, honestly, if you factor out the wife and kids sometimes, and they're like, what's to say? You work like maybe 10 years out here or doing some trade or something, and then, you know, your late 20s, mid to late 20s, maybe even your 30s, then you decide to get married, you've already got the perfect setup for having a family. Now, honestly, I'd say, hey, man, you might not want to do that because you worked really hard. You don't want someone to take half of this in divorce. But imagine retiring at the age of 30. Like 30 to 35, you can pull that off easily driving truck. Buy an affordable house. Let me tell you my setup I'm eventually doing. I've got a place. It's got 2 bedrooms. It's got a huge front room. Put a door on the front room. So there's 3 bedrooms, rent out all 3 rooms, put a big couch in the kitchen, put a TV in the kitchen, so that's kind of the rec room / kitchen. And then I'll just put I got an RV, like a GMC Value van. I'll take that and I'll just live in that for 8 months of the year. And when the weather's crappy, I'll just hop in my van and go party in the desert somewhere. And I'll, you know, the people that are share room renting it, just give me a call if something goes wrong. They can deal with the snow and all that garbage. I'll be the fuck out of there. Or maybe I'll go to the Philippines or something. But once you've got a few people paying your bills, essentially, or you've got so much money in investments paying you, how much do you really need to get by? So, you know, if you want to work, you know, go to college, and then, you know, so you got $100,000 of debt, plus you got to pay for room and board, all that. And even when you get out of college, there's that first year or two, you're probably not really making real money. And then, you know, you got to establish yourself. So you're probably in your 30s and still not even, you still have college debt. Some people, I'll give you credit, you know, you have a plan, you have a game plan, whether you do your college online. I highly recommend this. Like, I heard about a guy who was getting his GED at 16, and so he could get into a trade or do something or learning to code younger, so he could basically avoid all the bullshit. I was like, see, that's a smart boy. You know, be it a man or a woman, that's an individual that's got a good head on his shoulders. But the thing of it is that these people that tell you, oh, you don't want to do this, well, look, trucking is cheap to get into. How much does college cost? I mean, trucking can be anywhere from, I've seen as low as $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 to $6,000 some places. But sometimes you can get a government grant where they'll pay for it. They're like, yeah, go get this. Or companies will pay for you to get your CDL because they need someone. Like, say you're working in the oil fields, and they need somebody to drive this tanker back and forth all day. But you're stacking cash. You know, like you live in an RV, you live in a man camp, and you're stacking cash. And you if you travel OTR, you're seeing a lot of the country. You go to these big cities and they want, like, you know, for a crack shack, they want probably $350,000 to, you know, $500,000. Like $500,000 would be a house. $1 million would be a regular place. Now you see these houses, you know, like an old person dies in some of these little farm towns, and the family doesn't want to keep the house. You can get these houses for $50,000 in America, and beautiful little towns. You can walk to everything. You can retire younger in the trades than if you do the usual plan that they tell you to do. And I'm not trying to discourage the military. If you're a patriot, you know, you want to be out there, you know, doing your thing. And I think if you work and pay taxes and you provide something, you're not a parasite, then you're a patriot as well. Because this society couldn't exist without you. But just the same thing with the military. If you want to do that, cool. But understand what you're getting into. People say, why didn't you do the military? I'm going to tell you the truth. Back during the Iraq War, I asked them how much does it pay. And they were like, it was pretty piss poor pay for a guy in country. And I'm like, okay, so bullets whizzing by me and, you know, explosives and crazy people all around. I want a better deal than that. And that's what it really comes down to. How much is your time worth? You know, and if you want to sign on to a piece of paper saying, okay, I'm going to risk my life doing this, or I'm going to give away years of my life paying back this college debt. And by the way, that's the sad part. Most of these people that are in college talking about, oh, I have $30,000 in debt. One more reason to drive truck. Drive truck for a short time in your life to be debt-free in college. And then how much easier would your life be? But the sad part is, if you realized for 2 seconds, you could save up the money to go to college and pay for your own college, which I don't discourage. If you drive truck, be able to pay for your own college. But then you're going to go to college and damn well know what you're getting. You're not going to let some Marxist professor tell you a bunch of garbage and then sell you on some crap that you don't even need to be doing. No, you're going to have a plan. But if you have that much money, you can just go buy a house. And you're like, game win. Early 20s. Now, I highly recommend, if you're going to do this, just live in the truck for the first number of years. Stack cash, do some investments. You know, don't be a dude bro businessman, but just, you know, either whether you buy a truck or you invest in the market. You know, there's good traditional ways to invest where basically it's just a way to hedge against inflation is a really good example for it. If you're not making money, but you're just not losing it via, you know, the government printing money. But as far as industries goes, for the time being, this is recession-proof, COVID-proof. You know, I don't know. When everybody's telling you not to do something, you might want to get a look at it to see if it's worth doing. So, anyways, take it easy. Anyhow, like, link, subscribe, comment if you so choose.